In light of everything going on in the world right now, we're going through the COVID-19, the pandemic, businesses has changed. First and foremost, what changes have you seen with your business? I mean, what would you put around that? Especially events. Events might not be the same, or they might still be the same, we don't know. But what changes are you seeing, and how would you improvise?
Well, I can tell you now that one of my businesses was severely affected because one of the businesses was events. And by the way, that's a lesson for everybody. Never only have one business. Yes. Never put all your eggs in one basket. So luckily I have real estate, I have consulting, I have online businesses, I have a software company, and we have events, right? So the event side just all literally stopped overnight because hotels were not allowing to book. And even if you could book a hotel, I booked a venue in Melbourne for like 500 people, right? And now with the social distancing, your seats have to be 2 meters apart. So a room that can hold 500 people can now only hold 64 people, right? So that was never gonna work. So, and then of course, then they stopped flights and they closed down the borders. So I couldn't, my whole tour was pretty much canceled, So what do? We do what all entrepreneurs do, is we jump off a cliff and we'll build a plane on the way down. Right? So we pivoted into so if you want to know what market to go into, what's trending, what the market conditions and timing, right? So what's trending right now, right? Social media. What the market conditions, people can't go anywhere, they're stuck at home. But I mean, now it's getting more lenient, but I just think things will never be the same again. No. Timing, right? What's the timing right now? So we decided to put all of our events and turn them into virtual events. So I'm telling you now, and we make more revenue, more profit than we ever have done, right? Than running, because you think about it. When you run an event, you have to pay for a hotel. Hotel will cost you £20,000 a day minimum, yes. Right? Then you got your AV. Your AV is another £10,000 a day. Then you have your entourage of people that you got to put up. Then you got to pay for the hotel rooms and your first class and business class flights. Before long, you already spent 100 grand. Yeah. Right now, I can do exactly the same event right here.
Wow.
Zero cost. So I'm so happy, not in a sense that COVID-19 is here, because obviously there's a lot of people not surviving from that, but in terms of a business, COVID-19 is the best thing that ever happened to any business right now.
Yeah, but other people are struggling and still can't find their balance. Yeah, because what would you say to them, those other guys who just can't find the balance, because you've managed to, because of who you are. You are this motivational entrepreneur who knows how to turn things around. What would you advise someone who's struggling right now, not sure where the balance is and what to do next?
Well, first of all, you need to, again, look at the trend. What's trending right now? Online. Everyone's online. So if you're not online, you're offline. So you need to be online. That's actually what I talk about in the book. I wrote this book called Business Hack, and talks about, literally, the title is, listen to this, The Wealth Dragon Way to Build a Successful Business in the Digital Age. We are living in the digital age right now. There's no question. I mean, this is the thing we wake up with every morning. It's the last thing we look at when we go to bed. It's, look, I even got focus. You see that? My screensaver is a constant reminder, focus. Yes. Every time I pick up my phone, it's like, okay, focus.
That's amazing. Yeah, right? That is mine is more consistent.
Right, it's like, you got to keep doing it. Yeah. So people struggling right now, there's two things. Number one, either you grow your business or you help other people's businesses. But to do that, you need knowledge. You need to upskill yourself. Like for me, I always talk about, how can we adapt to the current changes?
Yes.
Right, because that's where the stress is. You got to adapt to the current changes. What's working, what's not working. Right? And you just gotta, I call this the Bruce Lee effect. Bruce Lee created a martial arts called Jeet Kune Do. He learned all the martial arts. That's why he became one of the world's best martial artists. He learned karate, judo, boxing, and put all these together. He took the best of everything and made it his own. That's called Jeet Kune Do method. So the Jeet Kune Do method is to do that in business. What's working right now? Well, social media is working because that's where everybody's eyeballs are.
Yes.
Right? Online's working because probably the people stuck, I've spent more money online during lockdown than any time in my life. Ordering things on Amazon, everything's online.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So the behavior is starting to change. So you got to see the trends that's happening. Right? I actually run a web class on this if anyone is interested. I run these, quite often, and I kind of give a whole training on this, and and if you guys want to attend, I can let those guys attend for free.
If you definitely let me know, I could definitely put the link at the
well, the URL is simple. It's membby membby.co/DE webinar. That's it.
Okay.
Membby.co/DE webinar. DE stands for digital entrepreneur. We see this rise of digital entrepreneurship that's happening right now.
Wow.
Right? So
important. Yeah, go.
Yeah. So I would definitely recommend that they adapt, see what's changing, and then move into it. And you got to do it fast because, time is not on our side right now.
No.
Right?
But you're also a family man. Let's not forget that you're married, you've got kids. How do you balance the both? How do you balance both your busy, hectic lifestyle with who you were with family? How would you advise someone doing that?
This is going to sound a bit, it won't come out right, but I'll just say it as it is. I manage my personal life like a business.
Yeah.
Right? Like, for example, I'll schedule time in, because here's the thing, right? When you got spare time, don't you find that the spare time suddenly becomes busy time, like, because you haven't put anything in there? If you physically haven't scheduled anything in, then it'll get sucked up by calls, meetings, random calls that come in. So literally every hour of my day is accounted for, pretty much, right? So like, this will be the third meeting I've had today, right? So, and then I've got a webinar right after this, and I've got a webinar this afternoon, and a meeting, and then moment. So it's like every hour is accounted for, and so like if I don't slot in my personal life, it's gonna get sucked up by other things.
Oh, so this is where you give them full attention when it's their time.
Yeah, like drawing time with my daughter Kira, or maybe we got walk time. So we take walks, and we have a forest that we literally can't see this, but I can see all the forest. I'm like, here I just go into the forest. Yeah. Maybe there'd be like drive time. So we have these drive times during lockdown. We can't really go anywhere, so we have these drive times of like an hour. Maybe it's like singing time or piano time. So my daughter and I will sit at the piano. We'll play the piano. So you got to schedule those times in, because you don't. And also this is good for you as well. Like, schedule time for yourself. You don't schedule time for yourself. Like every day I go for a run. It's about an hour, about 56 minutes to an hour. And then I do a lot of yoga and meditation. So you want to schedule that time in for you. Like, you got to slot in the time. And if you don't build your own schedule, if you don't build your own plan, you'll be a part of somebody else's plan.
Sure, I agree, because I find myself drifting away with my kids. When it's their time, I'm always distracted when it's their time, which is something I've now trying to balance and really give it to them. And it's not selfish, it's really, you need it treated like a business. So it's when it's their time, they get this full attention as well.
It's like you're having a meeting with your kid.
Yeah.
Right? And so then there needs to be rules. Whenever you have a meeting with your kids, like when we go on walks, no phones.
That's
right?
good.
Put the phones down. When it's like breakfast time, no phones. Right? So you want to put in some rules. Or when it's date night, no phones. Whatever it is, that you got to have the rules in place where it's like dedication. And it is hard. I mean, you're so tempted to just go and grab the phone, but just give them that time.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's absolutely good. A final message of hope to because you are a motivational speaker. You do this all the time. This is your calling. John, so many people out there need your message today. What message of hope would you give out to somebody? The people who are listening to this will need your message. Final message of inspiration as an entrepreneur, someone who's successful as a businessman, family man, and many other things you do, traveling as well. What message of hope would you give to a young guy looking to be like a young lady?
Well, there's a quote that kind of gave me a wake-up call, and I'll share this quote with you because it's changed my life. And the quote is, the definition of hell on earth is meeting the person that you could have been. Right? And when I heard that, I was like, wow. So my message to everyone right now is whatever you wanted to do, regardless of whether you think you can or you can't, regardless of other people's opinion of you, just go out and do it, follow your intuition and just go with it. Because your gut is always right. Your head is what takes you out of the game. Your gut is the thing that keeps you, I got a good feeling about this, right? Because there's so many nerve endings in our gut, more than what we have up here, that it understands, it can feel external things. It can feel, we call this the spiritual realm, right? For those people who are spiritual. it can feel that different dimension. It can feel what's going to happen before it happens. Like, I don't know if you've ever been in the car. So I was driving the other day and a deer ran in front of the car. And before my mind could even think about pushing the brake, my instinct pushed the brake, right? That's called your intuition. So we must train our intuition and we need to go with the flow. And so whatever you're feeling right now, regardless of the fear, regardless of the anxiety, regardless of the stress, regardless of what other people think, regardless of whether you think you can or you can't, do it.